Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 606th Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good morning. I am Dr. Susan Searles-Giroux, Acting Provost and Vice President Academic. This morning, I have the great pleasure of being your Master of Ceremonies, and it is my privilege and honor on behalf of McMaster University to welcome all of you, graduands and guests, to this convocation ceremony. Before further remarks, I would like to call upon Dr. Amos Key, Jr., Vice Provost, Indigenous Engagement and Associate Professor from Brock University, to deliver a traditional Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address.
I'm going to share some words from the Haudenosaunee. that is our reverence for humanity, our reverence for our creation given to us by our Creator, but it also speaks of our indigeneity, the virtues and the ethics of the Haudenosaunee Ongwahongwe civilization. And it brings us back to our moral compass as human beings and giving acknowledgement to our Creator. So we'll ask all of you, for whatever faith you're from and whatever way you give thanks and with gratitude, to take a moment to pause while I recite these words of the Creator and thank Him for bringing us here today, and for acknowledging a great leader in our community, Ms. Santi Smith. Hadeon de Dwanahon Quat Nanto Hate Wayo Nanto Hon Hamilton Place Gayasam, Nina Guayas Technic Gilcoin and McMaster University. Nasi, a Yetino Nyosne, Santi Smith Wat in Nishrede, Gagon Gausanyo, and Watanyo, Sanyong Dre, Sanyong Dron. Gagon and Wai Wat Canto Ninato Santo, Guy Wat Dekan Kanahonyok, Nati always at Scanot Donatanyo, Nati Nindwe Hik Iha Scott and Wang Guatnicoha, Scott that put on Nahonyo and again your tongue on Guatnicoha. And Don and Wa choice some when's the date when I had to win Hong Kong. Nico to Senyeha, Nidi Quick to Don Honyo, again your tongue on Guatnicoha. And Don and Wa choice on doing Hontanyo, that snake is now having on he, Nidi Quick to Tino Honyo, need again your tongue on Guatnicoha. And Don and Wa choice gaining with doggy Hadohia Kuno, Nidi Yunki Don gets Nanto when's the day. Nidi Quick to Tino Honyo, gaining with doggy Hadohia Kuno, the Yunki and your don. Need again your tongue on Guanicoho. And Don and Wa choice Dogowana Scania Dayo, or Huana Tad Wadza, and Scano he went shredding Yungi. Nitigridin and Honyo, Sedogowana Scania Dayo, need again your tongue on Guanicoho so. And Don and Wa choice Honge Tanagre Sanguaya Dison. Nate Santo Santo, Scano I do not know. Nadine Dwehik, Scott and Badanohonyo. Gong Hede Hanagre Sanguaya Dison and again your tongue on Guanicoho. Nandana Tony God Queenie, Ike Hat Gaya Gatakanahono, Donito. Among my people, it is always an honor to sing the Creator's song. And because of this great occasion for McMaster and for the family of Santi Smith and for Santi Smith being installed as a new Chancellor of McMaster. It's an historic occasion. And I want to share with you that raises the spirit of Santi to the Creator this morning, my Adungwa. These are songs of the Creator. And I'll try my best to raise this song on behalf of all of us, and especially Santi Smith. And de ga deno honyo de ona hige adega deno honyo ne adega keno honyo ne ona hige adega deno honyo ne nyawen gado ne ona hige nyawen gado ne ahen honyo ne hona hige a hen honyo ne and Yahweh Hagadon ne hone hige hone hige and Yahweh Hagadon ne. Ona. Thank you very much. Yahweh.
Thank you, Mr. Key Jr., for those beautiful and sonorous words. On behalf of the university, I would like to recognize and acknowledge that we meet today on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We must remember that we all have a role in upholding the spirit of this agreement, which urged for the peaceable sharing of the earth's resources. We must also not forget that merely acknowledging our presence on these traditional lands is only a small step on our shared path to reconciliation. I challenge you to consider how you can foster reconciliation among the many peoples that now inhabit these lands. At this time, I would like to acknowledge some of the notable leaders joining McMaster senior leaders today. President of Mohawk College, Mr. Ron McCurley, and President and CEO of Six Nations Polytech, Ms. Rebecca Jameson. Before we start our formal program, may I ask everyone in the hall to switch off any electronic devices that may ring or beep during the ceremony. I would now like to call upon Ms. Andrea Thyrotkit, Secretary of the University Senate and Board of Governors, to administer the instrument of appointment of the Office of the Chancellor.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, Mr. Chair of the Board, honored guests. It is now my duty to read the following instrument of appointment of the Chancellor of McMaster University. Pursuant to Section 13, subsection A of the McMaster University Act, 1976, and pursuant to Article 2 of the Bylaws of the Senate of McMaster University, Santee Sue Smith, Dagalaran Yakwa, has been nominated by the Committee for Nominating a Chancellor and subsequently appointed by the Senate as Chancellor of the University for a 3-year period beginning September 1st, 2019.
Good morning. Madam, you are now to assume the function and the office of Chancellor of this university, to which you have been duly appointed. You shall now swear to keep and preserve, well and faithfully, during your period of office, the statutes, liberties, customs, rights, and privileges of the university, and to promote its well-being and that of its members, so far as in you lies.
I promise to do so.
Madam, by the authority of the University Senate, I now install you in the office of Chancellor of McMaster University, and I invest you with the authority and charge you with the responsibilities which appertain to this high office. I would now like to invite the 19th Chancellor of McMaster University, Ms. Santi Smith, to deliver her address.
Scano, Yahweh, thank you very much. Greetings, honored guests, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, graduands. It's a pleasure to be present with you today and to share in this exciting time as we mark this milestone in life with acknowledgement and celebration. Today's convocation represents the culmination of a tremendous amount of work and dedication to fulfilling your academic goals. Congratulations, Yoyanale. Santi Smith, Daglunyakwa, Nyungnya, Sgongwehoe, Ganyangi Haga, Six Nations of the Grand River. My Haudenosaunee name is Daglunyakwa, which means picking up the sky in Mohawk. And now I have a new name, Chancellor Smith. It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I'm deeply honored to have been invited to step into the role of Chancellor of McMaster University. As a proud Gongwehoe, Mohawk woman, and a proud McMaster alumna, I couldn't be more thrilled to offer my insights and perspectives gained through my experiences and from the wisdom passed on to me from my many teachers. It's a privilege to be in service to McMaster, upholding the mission and the values of the university, and expanding upon the principles of understanding and cooperation with the Haudenosaunee and Mississaugas, on whose land we now stand, work, play, learn, share, and with actions of love and gratitude, endeavor to sustain. During my time as Chancellor, I aim to work through my Haudenosaunee values: fairness, sharing, honesty, kindness, confidentiality, consistency, integrity, responsibility, responsiveness, cooperation, openness, and trustworthiness. Many of these values align with McMaster and serve the social, cultural, and economic needs of our community and our society. These parallel ideals remind me of our Two-Row Wampum Treaty, a symbolic agreement foundational to this country, an agreement that teaches us how to live in a good way, in friendship and in peace. Nyawagoa, thank you, Mr. Amos Key Jr., for his recitation of the Ohandu Galiwantegwa, the words spoken before all else. For it grounds us in our kinship relationship to the natural world and to each other. It is the ultimate land acknowledgement. As the words aim to bring our minds together in unity, so to reflect on mutual respect, conservation, love, generosity, and the responsibility to understand that what is done to one part of the web of life affects us all. And as an artist, my life's work has been about sharing the beauty and the power inherent in Indigenous narratives and knowledge. highlighting Indigenous continuance, truth, intergenerational resilience, ways of being in the world, collaboration, and creativity. In many instances, Western-based knowledge is playing catch-up to our ancient understandings, particular to well-being and health, the environment, and equitable diplomacy. As Chancellor, I aim to position the sharing of truth at the forefront. For example, setting Canada's Truth and Reconciliation calls to action into actions. Last year, my production, The Mush Hole, about Canada's first residential school, the Mohawk Institute, was presented at McMaster University as a part of the Socrates Project. Initiatives like this are critical opportunities to promote understanding with an embodied impact. Central to McMaster's vision is creativity. It's a concept I fully support and I have built an entire career around. Being creative is having the courage to step and play in the unknown. With the tools and the skills you have learned here, I challenge you to be and cultivate creativity in everything you do. From a young age, I was taught about our responsibility during our time spent here on earth, that everyone has at least one gift, a high purpose to fulfill. It is our responsibility to discover what that is, and once discovered, it's our responsibility to selflessly share it for the betterment of the entire community. Graduands, you are the present and future leaders and innovators. What you choose to do with your time has the potential for incredible positive impact locally, nationally, and internationally. Graduands, I would like to acknowledge also the people in this room and beyond who have contributed to your success and achievement. Take a moment to reflect on all the people who made it possible for you at this very juncture in your life. Hold them in your thoughts and in your body and say, I'm grateful. On behalf of McMaster University, thank you to the family members, friends, colleagues, instructors, and mentors. Breathe in and relish in the pride and admiration that is circling around us. I would like to acknowledge my family and friends. I appreciate your unwavering support and belief in me. You inspire me to continue. I acknowledge the long line of my Gayangahaga ancestors who made it possible for me to be here, who made decisions for our family and community survival. I acknowledge my family who attended residential school, and to those who continue to advocate for our nation. Nyawagoa to my mother, Gowasanogwas, Lee Smith, who endured many a late-night phone call from undergrad me over stressing about exams. I acknowledge my father, Galunya Day, Steve Smith, who is my avid supporter and an artistic genius and epic storyteller. I'm grateful for my daughter, Samaya Gahawi Smith, who you heard singing alongside the Guayo Yanale, the very beautiful Haudenosaunee singers, Jennifer Kreisberg and B'nai Elijah. I was so thrilled and relieved when Samaya chose McMaster as her university. She's in third year health science, and she was born at the McMaster Children's Hospital. So McMaster runs in the family. Through her as mother and chancellor, I have an inside track on student life, the challenges, the questioning of personal and professional direction, and the excitement of building friendships that will last a lifetime. And I so wish Echo 360 was around in the 90s. It would have made my 9 a.m. biomechanics class that much easier. Since my first campus tour, I fell in awe with this university. The mix of academic tradition, trailblazing research, and dynamic learning style, the vibrancy of the students, it was palpable and visible on the grounds, then as it is today. Our experiences at McMaster shape who we are, and we will carry them with us. and we will carry today as one of the great moments of our life. I challenge you to be curious seekers. A passion for learning and unlearning is one of the most powerful tools we have as individuals to transform, to deconstruct, to better position ourselves, to contribute to our communities, and to open our minds to new perspectives. Because life is about the journey, isn't it? And I hope, like me, you make the journey and circle back to McMaster. And as you make your next move, I ask that you consider your decisions wisely, taking into account the impacts on your future ancestors. How will you make this a brighter world for the next 7 generations to come? I would like to share a quote by environmental scientist David Orr. I feel it's relevant, and you might have heard it. There's a myth that the purpose of education is to give one the means for upward mobility and success. The plain fact is that the planet doesn't need more successful people, but it does desperately need more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of every kind. It needs people who live well in their places. It needs people of more moral courage, willing to join the fight to make the world habitable and humane. And these qualities have little to do with success as we have defined it. Once again, on behalf of McMaster University, I extend sincere congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2019. Graduands, you are now valued members of the alumni family. Welcome. I am humbled to be a part of McMaster University in such a significant way and support the vision of one of the world's most respected and renowned universities. I'm eager to begin my work as the 19th Chancellor of McMaster University. Nyawagoa. Thank you.
Santi, thank you for agreeing to be our 19th Chancellor. It has been a true honor to be a part of a slightly modified ceremony this morning and to see you here in slightly modified but absolutely stunning Chancellor's gown. Your remarks, I think, spoke to our students. Your Haudenosaunee values will guide you. Having a student at McMaster provides you with a wealth of information about us, and I look forward to working with you over the next few years. Thank you very much.
Dr. David Farrar, Acting President and Vice Chancellor, will now come forward to present the graduands to our new Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduands please stand? Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates and those in absentia, in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable.
Graduands, by my authority and that of McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit to those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees at McMaster University all of the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Please be seated. Graduands, I now ask each of you to join me on stage so that the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars.
Graduates and guests, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduates, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Sepede Ibrahimi. Muhammad Qayed. Murtaza Mashiakhi. Fariba Nusrati. Constance Imbolt. Kyle Reiter. MD Mahbub Ar-Rahman. Margaret Boyce. Emma McKenna. Roshea Tema Rodness. Cassandra Iria Sari Shuin. Alison Ross. Chelsea Berenger. Bradley Schubert. Nauren Tabassum. Kelsey Leonard. Jean Van Maren. Alice Dibas. Alison Iron. Casey Schiebling. Madam Chancellor, may I present you the following graduates of the degree of Master of Business Administration. Akil Jabri Anamontu. Ajisola Wadro Hana Atiba. Hassan Bassett. Kimberly Ann Blair. Jacques Boutillette. Todd Brown. Muhammad Shahdi. Ryan Chong. Richard George Clifford. Elaine DeMarzo. Raymond James De La Paz. Heather Dunn. Sarah Ferry. Stephen Fritz. Gunther Ha. Wemi Jayoba. Dale Robert Kalina. Jamie Henry Leacock. Syed Human Logman. Lilia Martinez. Mark Alexander Milligan. William Allen Noble. Gregory Goran Pavlika. Alexandra Picard. Kathleen Peters. Fan Pfeiffer. Mangala Rao Dasa. Rupinder Singh. Jamie Dion Shalan Sori. Angelica Specific. Valentin Veduva. Kenton Charles Vermeer. Katrina Vlahos. Markian Vitiski. Rob Chen Bang Yang. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Health Management. Grace Aka. Megan Maria Elizabeth Bavenio. Hannah Oi Hai Chan. Diliana Dale. Sarah Elizabeth Givens. Rosemary Heho. Ronald Anushton Perenpon Lagam. Gillian Rachel Story. Erin Elizabeth Thrasher. Tony Urbanski. Rebecca Sharmela Willis.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Masters of Arts. Andrew David Kirkconnell. Shatai Salim. Tala Al-Ramahi. Emmanuel Apaya. Liam John Floyd. Nicholas Lazaretto. Timon Andre Mulman. Johanna Ness. Jill Alana Neeson. Victoria Lee Throckmorton. Sai Sumitra Vura. Shega Barisha. Emma Summer Kroll-Bear. Marta Maxwell Kroll-Bear. Christine Ingrid Gurman. Arun Jacob. Caitlin Hannah Rothberger. Ishan Selby. Quan Young Wang. Levko O. Iwanaswe. Annabella Farah Lamash. Sean Justin Leslie. Brandon Paul Lucy. Alana Maurice McBride. Harihan Paramaswaran. Samantha Squires. Bowen Yan. Sunya Khan. Raquel Ann Arsenio. Kylie Ann Grube. Frank Anthony Kaber. Shannon Marion Murray. Ella Ratz. Hannah Elizabeth Barry. Susan Patricia Cape. Fiona Marie Theodorakidis Gordon. Caitlin Angela Dawn Knott. Elizabeth Schofield. Latifa Abdin. Shelby Rianne Auburn. Alexandra Christine Cotter. Landon Jamie Fama. Emily O'Kell. Emily Thompson Becker. Sarah Barbash. Emma Elizabeth Conway. Michelle Delana Doherty. Sophie Elizabeth Marie Geffros. Courtney Jean Harnett. Erica Clara Malana. Beth Louise Aiken. Jeremy Coleman. Allison Emily Dobslaw. Geneva J. Gillis. Tyler Robin Harris. Tina Kosick. Hung La. Joshua Matthew McClellan. Carrie Lynn McMullen. Graham Moore. Triveni Sakaran. Fatih Asik. Lily Eskin. Victoria Lynn Galea. M. Priti Gujahar. Alaha Muskahil. Mackenzie Porter. Joy Magdalena Schnitker. Esheret Esha Yukana. Lena Asi. Anne Marie Laurel Bressy. Mel Malad Napoloni, Leanne May Woodward, Lotaro Nicholas Gree, Dania Homsey, Sally Cater, Anwar Muhammad, Rebecca Morikawa, Iason Nicholas Rodopoulos, Robin Chung, Elena Dostenko, Suzanne Kennedy, Maddie Stotts McLaren, Lisa Yvonne Seiler, Ruhina Sheikh, Eleni Audrey Maria Simpson, Jillian Sunderland, Tiffany Ashley Williams, Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Communications Management. Anne Elizabeth Allison, Nisha Borchetar, Rodrigo Garcia Rojas Villegas, Eileen Marlowe, Leslie Agnes Patel, Nisaki Sakafio, Danielle Van Duzer, Brady Jefferson Wood,
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Science. Didi Mohammed Ahmed, Tanisha Dave, Danielle Anthony DeMarco, Melody Hambaz, Pratibha Harsha, Zainab Khan, Eva Liu, Opema Okelanu, Sidra Shoaib, Ashneet Singh. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Master of Social Work. Asela Clara Azina, Lee Marie Zinkin, Tracy M. Gibbs, Erica Kathleen McKenzie, Jason Palmer, Courtney Rodjick, Gregory Tedesco, Gwendolyn Vanderloo,
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts Honors. Marvin Adrian Arjande. Robin Michelle Bachmeyer. Asacia Jeanette Blake. Elizabeth Bloomfield. Kyle Bodie. Claire Brody Stubbs. Wei Cho. Yanglin Chen. Kasiana Jartigi. Isha Faisal. Karen Elfrida Filbert. Allison Brazil Gonçalves. Haley Samantha Green. I think it's this one. Danielle Gulacci. I don't know who. Marissa Claire Hay. Kassler Jean-Louis. Amandeep Kara. Trisha Marie Lagumbe. Laura Amy Lenyazek. Alexis Ann McDonald. Suvistika Mahendran. Cynthia Denise McQueen. Andrea Menier. Larissa Catherine Cecilia Musachuk. Sahan Nurutsi Farsungi. Ugo Michael Okafor Osadebe. Yitong Pan. Morgan Potter. Khalil Elliott Prescott. Jill Marie Rogers. Jessica Sedlowski. Noor Safar Alawardi. Dwight Matthew Satumba. Nicole Shea. Adam Stansfield. Emily Stewart. Nathaniel Andrew Triantafulu. Olawapamimo Samuel Tunji Ajay. Mitchell Thomas Wendover. Zoe Zovko.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Social Work, Honours. Rachel Schorler.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Commerce Honors. Rabi Abid. Rajan Ahir. Adrian Brody. Ming Chen. Meng Chen. Adam Colavecchio. Nicholas Dataleco. Julian David DeVito. Anuraj Kaur Chil. Zain Hassan. Eric William Hill. Alejandra Maria Oeso Yanez. Joshua Hamel. Michael Estefan. Sohang Biom. Lingyun Lee. Otto Chishun Pang. Peter Papadopoulos. Sergio Stepan Perez. Erenpreet Singh. Ryan Matthew Skinner. Veronica Soto. Stephen James Witten. Hang Zhu. King Ning Zhu. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Commerce. Ryan Chan.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduate of the degree Bachelor of Arts and Science Honors. Ariel Madeline Spilak.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Arts. Precious Adetunji. Darlene Padolina Capua. Cheng Hei Chio. Ibrahim Chowdhury. Gabriel Daniela. Julian DeBellin. Kaycon Deb. Jordana Brianne Doucette. Shang Yu Fang. Austin Calder Freeman. Sarah Guild. Joshua Andrew Hennessy. Jachi Jha. Zara Khan. Zhanjie Kwang. Brianna Loretani. Patricia Lino. Megan Manser. Giovanni Martino. Darlene Mackay. Vishma Simona Mervin. Adriana Miskik. Rita Mohammed. Deandra Nduka. Pruvinin Nirmalan. Ananth Paramanathan. Sef Salem Patel. Maria Pham. Morgan Richmond. Thulasiha Silva Kumaran. Jasleen Sra. Bo Cheng Wang. Jiaming Wang. Shayla Williams. Dominica Robel. Yang Yang. Mara Alessia Zentiel Casey.
Let's give one more round of applause to all the newest graduates of the class of 2019. I would now like to welcome Dr. Jeremiah Hurley, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, to the podium to present our honorary degree recipient.
Ms. Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Eva Egron Polak. Eva Egron Polak was educated in the Czech Republic, France, and then Canada, where she earned her MA in International Relations and Affairs from Carleton University. with her postgraduate research focusing on European Union policy in higher education, it was a logical progression for Ms. Agron-Polak to establish a career as a global advocate for the role that higher education institutions can play in developing a more equitable, ethical, sustainable, and internationalized society. Ms. Agron-Polak is best known for serving as Secretary General of the International Association of Universities from 2002 to 2017. Created in 1950 under the auspices of UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, the International Association of Universities is a membership-based organization serving the global higher education community. As the executive leader of the International Association, Ms. Agron-Polak directed work that emphasized and promoted ethics, academic values, and the responsibilities that post-secondary institutions have to the communities they serve. Her development of the Internationalization Strategies Advisory Service helped many universities, including McMaster University, internationalize their policies, strategies, and relevant programs. Prior to joining the International Association of Universities, Ms. Agron-Polak worked at Universities Canada for nearly 2 decades, culminating in her holding the position of Vice President International. Though she has now completed her tenure as Secretary General of the International Association of Universities, she remains active in global educational matters, serving on boards and advisory committees for a number of internationally focused organizations, including the Global Access to Post-Secondary Education Initiative. She is a member of the Executive Advisory Board of the International Higher Education Teaching and Learning Association, and the Advisory Board for Study Portals, a Netherlands-based organization that helps students explore international study options. She has been a member of the Governing Council of the Magna Charta Observatory since 2012. She has also influenced McMaster by encouraging and supporting the university in a number of international initiatives, including becoming a signatory to the Magna Charta Universitatum in 2013. Madam Chancellor, I present Ms. Eva Agron-Polak to you so that you may recognize her diverse and influential contributions to the international community of higher education by conferring upon her the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Eva Agron-Polak, by the authority of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, at McMaster University, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. I would now like to invite Dr. Agron-Polak to deliver the convocation address.
Madam Chancellor, Acting President Farrar, honored guests, graduates, families, and guests. I'm both honored and incredibly proud to receive this honorary degree from McMaster University. I'm particularly pleased that it is McMaster University that honors me in this way, as I believe it is one of the great examples of what a university should be. As the Chancellor has already spoken, it is underpinned and promotes the kinds of values all universities around the world should stand for and promote, as well as instill in the graduates. Today is a very special occasion in each of our lives. Yours as graduates, as you end a phase of your life and achieve a milestone and embark on a new one. For me, a wonderful reward on a very enjoyable journey professionally so far. So let me first congratulate each and every one of you for this achievement and for the hard work that it took you to get here. Thank you very much for sharing your convocation with me, since neither of my two children have ever attended one of their graduations, so I have not had this privilege before. I'm very grateful, though, my daughter did come here today and joins me. So to mark this very personal occasion for all of us, I decided to focus on just one notion, the notion of choice. And I wanted to make my comments rather personal rather than academic. Most of us in this room are highly advantaged by having had the possibility to attend a university, to earn a degree. And I've had the privilege to further work in higher education for close to 40 years. Since we are here today, we obviously had the choice to acquire a higher education degree, and I would like to remind us that unfortunately, such a choice is still too often not available to many around the globe, but also here in Canada. I believe that it is our collective responsibility to ensure that our societies make such a choice possible for everyone who wishes to study. I'm a first-generation Canadian. My parents, when they sought political asylum in 1968, chose Canada. They felt it was the place where they thought our future would be most secure, most free, and most peaceful. They made the right choice, and I'm very proud and grateful to them for having chosen Canada, even if some 18 years ago I moved to France to take up my position in Paris. I'm also the first person in my family to get a university education. This, however, was not by choice in the case of my parents. Their choices were taken away, first because they were Jewish and grew up in Czechoslovakia during Second World War. They were lucky, they survived, but their choices were restricted once again when the Iron Curtain came down. The communist regime bestowed such a privilege as access to higher education only to loyal party members. So university education was not in my parents' future, nor in their children's future. Yet, I was brought up in an atmosphere where seeking knowledge and learning were valued, and not only because they were a means to improve one's economic standing, but for their own sake, for the horizons they opened up. In fact, my parents' lack of this choice made them fervent believers in the emancipatory power and essential value of a university education. For me, and indeed for my children, there was never a choice. University was an inevitable part of our future. In hindsight, it's perhaps not surprising that I devoted most of my professional life to working with universities. I see them as key actors in promoting a better world and a better life for everyone. My father told me that a university is where I would learn to learn, a place where I would learn to think. Today, some people argue that universities have become obsolete, as there are new and multiple ways to acquire information. But information is not the same as acquiring knowledge. Acquiring skills is not the same as acquiring an education. Universities are spaces where we learn to critically examine, compare, contrast, and analyze the massive amounts of information available to us in order to turn it into knowledge and to create new knowledge. In the current truth era and fake news era, where scientific knowledge is often being questioned and expertise is sometimes disdained, I think acknowledging this special mission of the university is essential. My personal history, as well as my work here in Canada and in France at the International Association of Universities, have offered me the fantastic opportunity to get to work with universities from around the globe and to continue learning from the experiences of university leaders, researchers, and students in places as diverse as Algeria and Zimbabwe, Iran and Peru, Malaysia, Lithuania, and many others. What have I learned? Let me just share 3 very quick lessons. First, to narrow the gaps that continue, unfortunately, to grow between and more so within nations, education is key. More people must be given the choice to study, and the value and benefits of inclusiveness and diversity in the classroom and in the laboratory needs to be celebrated and embraced fully by decision makers as well as universities. I think McMaster has shown how much it celebrates that diversity today. Second, our world and our local societies are interconnected as never before. And international collaboration among universities and their internationalization, which aims to increase understanding, mutual learning, and respect among different cultures, is today as essential as ever before. Whether you, as graduates, whether your lives take you abroad or you stay here in Canada, being sensitive to diverse perspectives and learning from them is enriching and absolutely invaluable. Third and last lesson that I have learned and I'd like to share with you is that today, around the world, universities are increasingly shifting their narrative from pointing out how they are, as institutions, central to economic competitiveness, to a new narrative, one that demonstrates their social responsibility and the impact that their work has, especially in terms of sustainability. And in my view, this means that universities are making very important and new choices of priorities. And you, as students and young people, are and will continue to be in the driver's seat in this push. This graduation ceremony marks the end of one phase of your learning at McMaster University. Of course, you may be back here for another degree, or you may attend another university. No matter what your next step in life is, let me congratulate each of you for reaching this goal and for choosing McMaster University, one of the best in the world, not only because it's high rankings, but because it is a caring university, committed to improving lives of people here in Hamilton and around the globe. You face a rather turbulent and stressful future, but I'm certain that you will continue your life transformed by the experience you have had here, and that you are well prepared to make the choices needed to contribute to McMaster's goal, namely to build a brighter world. I wish you much success in your personal and professional lives, and let me thank you again for letting me share your graduation ceremony with you.
Niawe, thank you for your inspiring words and your experience that you shared with us today, Dr. Igran Pollock. Congratulations. And I'd like to agree with you that McMaster supports the endeavor of lifelong learning, and we can take that with us as we go through our lives. Nyawagoa.
Again, congratulations, Dr. Igran Polak. May I now call upon Dr. Pamela Sweat, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, who will present the Governor General's Gold Academic Medal.
The Governor General's Academic Medal is one of the most prestigious awards a student in Canada can receive. Established in 1873, this honor recognizes exceptional academic achievement at the high school, collegiate, undergraduate, and graduate levels. Each year, McMaster awards just 2 Governor General's Gold Medal to the students at the university who has achieved the highest academic standing at the graduate level. Earning this accolade not only places this year's recipients among the top students to graduate from McMaster, it places them among the top students in all of Canada. On behalf of Her Excellency, the Right Honorable Julie Payette, it gives me great pride to present the Governor General's Academic Gold Medal to Dr. Shane Nielsen. Shane graduated with a PhD in English this past spring. Madam Chancellor, I ask that you and all those present join with me to express recognition of his achievement.
Congratulations, Shane. May I now introduce Dr. Jean Wilson, Director of the Arts and Science Program, who will now present the Distinguished Alumni Award for the Arts.
The recipient of the 2019 McMaster University Distinguished Alumni Award is Bruce Miashta. One of the first graduates of McMaster's Arts and Science program in 1984, and later a graduate of the Ivey School of Business with an MBA in 1988, Bruce Miashta began his business career as an analyst with IBM Canada, joining the group writing technical and user manuals for software. He was a consultant with McKinsey & Company, and then the director of strategic initiatives for Bombardier. He was the vice president of Six Sigma with Maple Leaf Foods, where he led the company's performance improvement initiatives for more than a decade. Mr. Miashta has also served in an executive role with BMO Financial Group, where he built the organization's Process Center of Excellence. Mr. Miashta currently divides his time between Miashta Advisory, a consulting practice that deploys his expertise in process excellence, and running the Tom and Nancy Miashta Foundation. Mr. Miashta started the foundation in 2015 to honor his late parents and serve as a vehicle for philanthropy and pro bono work designed to build practical life and employment skills for young adults. Mr. Miashta is an engaged community leader and philanthropist whose impact at his alma mater has been significant. He created the Tom and Nancy Miashta Arts and Science Program Enrichment Fund, as well as the New World of Work Forum at McMaster, where his involvement includes mentoring members of the forum's student project management team. He has also been instrumental in connecting McMaster Arts and Science students to the unique culture and experience of Fogo Island, Newfoundland, where he is an honorary member of the Fogo Island Arts Advisory Board. Mr. Miashta serves on the board of directors for Academics Without Borders, a not-for-profit organization that assists developing countries' universities in training their own experts and conducting their own research to enhance national development. In 2017, Mr. Miashta was inducted into the Princess Margaret Cancer Center Hall of Fame for his fundraising efforts. McMaster is proud to recognize Mr. Bruce Miashta of the class of 1984 with the 2019 Distinguished Alumni Award.
Chancellor Smith, Acting President Farrar, McMaster faculty, fellow alumni, honored guests, and especially the members of the McMaster class of 2019. Good morning to you all. I'm proud to say that I'm a graduate of the class of 1984, among the first graduates from the then new Arts and Science program. I'm sure that for many of you, 1984 sounds like a very long time ago. For example, that was the year the Apple Macintosh was launched, with its massive 9-inch black and white screen, an incredible 128 kilobytes of memory, and a price of $2,500, or just over $6,000 in today's dollars. On the other hand, many things have not changed. For example, last week I saw many of the same posters being sold in the lobby of the Student Center beside the Tim Hortons. There was also the same great energy one gets wherever students gather. I would suggest that some of the other things the class of 1984 and 2019 have in common are these: a sense of accomplishment, relief perhaps that one's calendar is no longer jammed with classes, assignments, and exams, anticipation of what lies ahead, a sense that you are now at a major milestone in your life. You've heard a bit about my career and the path that my McMaster education helped pave for me. Each of you will find your own unique path forward, whether that path is clear to you today or not. I would confess my own path was unclear on my graduation day, but it seems to have worked out all right in the end. If I can share one piece of advice, it would be to recognize the value of mentorship. I think the value of seeking mentorship from others is obvious, but what you need to know is that it is incredibly rewarding to mentor others. So, when you reach out to others in the MAC community, I think you'll find that people are eager to help you. Today, you've become a member of the very diverse community that is the McMaster Alumni Association. This ready-made network is one that I encourage you to get to know and become an active participant in. On behalf of the more than 200,000 who have come before you, I welcome you to the MAC alumni family. In your first few years after graduation, the association can do a lot for you. Its MAC 10 program provides career resources and assistance, social activities, online and in-person networking, and professional development opportunities. If you haven't already used their online mentoring program, check it out and tap into the wisdom of hundreds of fellow MAC grads. After I graduated from MAC, I had the good fortune to have many more great experiences. But I would say that the strongest affiliation I have is for my undergraduate days here at MAC. This is a great day for all of you. I remember the feeling. Congratulations, job well done, and welcome to the McMaster Alumni Association. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Bruce, and thank you for those inspired words and your ongoing generous support of our students. May I now invite Acting President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Farrar, to deliver his address.
Again, congratulations to McMaster's graduating class. I know how hard you've worked to get here. There'll be more hard work to come, but today is a chance to pause and to celebrate the amazing things you've already accomplished. I want to say a few words about small steps and giant leaps because today is about both. Today, each of you walked across this stage and received your degree. It literally required you to take a few small steps. And at that time, you were also making a giant leap from students to alumni. That changes everything. Why small steps and giant leaps? It's because I was alive before people walked on the moon. And if you want to consider a day that changed everything, it was July the 20th, 1969. You probably know the story. Neil Armstrong climbed out of the lunar lander. He walked down the stairs and spoke one of what is today a famous quote. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. You might also know that Armstrong left out a word. That was supposed to be one small step for a man, which would have made a lot more sense. I only mention it because if you tripped or stumbled a little bit as you walked across the stage or we didn't quite shake hands properly, don't worry, you're in very good company. Every generation has its goals and aspirations that seem impossible until the moment they're achieved. For my generation, it was a moonshot. I shared in that dream as it became closer to reality, and the day Armstrong set foot on another world is etched in my memory. Today, 50 years later, it still inspires me. So what about your giant leap? Your world is very different from the one when men walked on the moon. In some ways, there's been progress. For instance, if the moon mission were happening today, there's a small chance that the crew would include more than just white men. But also there are other differences. 50 years ago, we had the Cold War. Today, you have climate change, the rapid advance of artificial intelligence, and a slide into authoritarianism in the world. Universities have changed as well, but I believe that our vision for higher education continues to prepare our current graduates for the world they face. You have more choices, more freedom, and more power than any other generation. As was just said, the technology in your cell phone packs more computing power than NASA used in total to put men on the moon. It connects you to unlimited information and entertainment. You also have the opportunity to become the best version of who you are, to discover and embrace who you really are, to live, love, learn, and experience the world on your own terms. So what will you do with that freedom, with that choice, with that power? There are practical answers to that. You could start a business, patent a new drug, help the weak, lead the strong, give back to your community, rise through the ranks, lead, innovate, entertain. These might seem like small steps, but they're real and they're valuable things to do. I want to encourage you, though, to reserve some energy for giant leaps, for pursuing the impossible, for taking your moonshot. Don't be daunted by the pace of change that accelerates. We see it everywhere: technology, social media, entertainment, that relentless news cycle that we're experienced to, politics, the job market, climate, and research and education. I know how much the world has changed in my lifetime, and you will see so much more. But you're prepared for it. You have the knowledge, and you have the skills. Your moonshot may be global warming or inequity or social justice, medicine or health or technology, but I suspect it will be in some area that we could have never imagined at this point. So how do you prepare for that? Look back over your time at McMaster, and I hope you'll see the answer. You prepare by being adaptive, diligent, collaborative, multidisciplinary, ambitious, and determined, by challenging assumptions and by focusing on what needs to be done. One last point to build on something the Chancellor said. When you receive your diploma from McMaster, you'll note there's only one name on it, yours. But I suspect many people helped you get here today. Your family, friends, teachers, and mentors who have supported, inspired, and cheered you on. I hope you'll take some time very soon to find those people and to thank them. The end of your studies and the granting of your degree may feel like you're crossing the finish line, but you're actually just beginning. Today is a small step. Your giant leap is yet to come, and I wish you the very best in your journey.
Inspiring words from everyone. Congratulations to the class of 2019. I am a proud alumni, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you go from here as well as McMaster alumni. Eva, Bruce, Shane, congratulations on your achievements. You inspire us. As Bruce eloquently said, you are now a part of a wonderful community, and so take time to reconnect and circle back to McMaster often. Dr. Farrar, you've given us a lot to think about, and it reminds me of creativity. Creativity is about creating something from nothing, and that's what we do, and sometimes starting is hard because you have a number of possibilities to follow. But starting is good. Graduates, take those wise words wherever you go. My very best wishes to you all. Congratulations. Thank you.
I will ask that you please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Please join now in singing our national anthem. After the singing of the anthem, the convocation stands adjourned.